Good morning, video games. Welcome to Filthy Casuals, a podcast, God damn it, about video games, hosted by two very kind and extremely knowledgeable boys. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Tommy Dassler, and with me, as always...
Prodcaster extraordinaire, Ben Vanel here.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening to me this morning.
You're a little off.
I thought I was wide awake, but I'm stumbling.
Yeah.
I'm stuttering, Jerry.
Well, you're drinking some water.
I'm drinking a can of liquid death.
Which...
I've had 2 coffees. I've had breakfast.
Okay.
So there's really no excuse for this.
Yeah.
You know what it might be? I've got Kong fever.
Oh, yes.
I'm ready to go a bit ook, if you know what I mean.
You refuse to be vaccinated.
Yes.
Let's be clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've got, I think, 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And a booster. But it's done that thing where, like, you know, a vaccination is a small amount of the actual disease. I'm feeling a little bit of Kong fever just in the background.
Well, this is what happened, you know, in Nintendo. They got vaccinated for Kong fever in about 2014 after the release of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
Yes.
And they've just kind of, you know, forgotten to get their boosters. And and the vaccine has kind of lapsed and left their system.
It's running rampant across Kyoto and beyond.
Exactly.
Yes, that will be our big... When is that released? Is it next Thursday?
That episode?
That game?
Tomorrow.
Oh,
well,
brother.
By the time people are hearing this...
Today. Fuck. My timeline's all whacked out because, yes, Tommy, you're going to go on a holiday soon. We're banking stuff. We're going to be pre-recording stuff. And so I don't really know what day today is.
We're doing that annoying thing where we've banked some stuff.
Yep.
But then what we're doing today is just what we would be doing today anyway.
Yes. That is so annoying.
It really is annoying. God, it grinds my gears.
Fuck. Because, yes, I also had the release date of Tony Hawk 3+4 a little out of whack, and I thought we were going to be doing that last week.
You had that way out of whack.
I was out of line.
Yeah.
But I've pulled myself back into line.
You misspoke.
I don't recall.
You've had a few too many beers at the knockoff drinks on Friday night.
That's true.
And then you've had to sort of sheepishly drag yourself in on Monday morning and be like, just kidding.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't actually close the Tony Hawk account.
Sorry, I kept quoting Cumtown. No one was laughing. No one knows what it is.
Yeah.
If they do know anything about it, it's kind of bad.
Yeah.
Anyone else they know in their lives that really loves it is kind of a shithead.
Yeah,
so
kind of a basement dwelling.
I've really tarred myself pretty negatively.
Yeah. And that's a word they say on Cumtown quite a lot.
All right, he's redeemed himself.
Thank you.
I'm tearing up this notice of termination.
Oh, a reprieve. Thank you, Governor. I have been playing Tony Hawk this week, and I'm very excited for Donkey Kong Bonanza. Which, by all reports, is coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today at time of air.
Yeah.
Very pumped for that. I know
they've done a bit of a developer interview that they do a lot more of these days, which is pretty cool on the Nintendo site. And they've talked a little bit about how they were developing it as a Switch 1 game originally, and they kind of never do this. They've shared like a little side-by-side screenshot of what it looked like when they were working on it for the Switch 1.
Yep.
And boy, you just have to really look at that and thank your lucky stars that that they came to their senses.
Yes.
Same as Mario Kart World. Thank Christ.
Yeah, we're able to operate at peak performance.
It is weird that they started working on both of these games knowing that there would be a, you know, that it had to be a kind of, not late in development, but it was like a little bit down the line chat of like, hey, you know what? We are going to have this new console coming out.
Yeah.
A, this game will run better, and B, if we start working on it now, we'll have a lot of stuff ready to go for the first year.
Yeah.
Imagine these games coming out on Switch 1, running like absolute horse shit.
Yeah.
And then there just being nothing coming out on the 2.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they would have bumped up Metroid Prime 4. Who knows what would have happened?
And in many ways, who cares?
Yeah, it's completely pointless to speculate. But
certainly not our job.
No. But very excited for that. There's been a few more like game announcements weirdly in the past week as well. There's shit flying everywhere, like as if a monkey was throwing it around.
Ooh, God, I hope you get to do that in Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Fuck
Motion
yes.
control using the fucking Joy-Con to just lob a few
even if they
big
blur
hunks
it.
of turd.
the real square pixel blur.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. But pumped for that. I've been playing some games as well, but there's been some news on the horizon.
Has there now?
Well, one of the things I saw from some of those more in-depth developer chats with Nintendo was that we might have talked about this, the fact that they were in the office sort of like physically testing out the concepts of some of the mechanics by skateboarding around.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Maybe this came out in the last 24 hours because...
Have you got your wires crossed between this and Tony Hawk?
No, that's why I thought it was like... so apropos.
This does feel like you've got a fever.
Yes.
You've read about Donkey Kong. You've played Tony Hawk, and then you've had a dream where your brain. Do you ever do that when you're sick? You have these weird dreams. This is what happens to me, and they're always based around something that has literally happened that day.
Yeah.
So if it's like I've been a bit sick and I've been like, playing a game, for example, I have a dream where like I'm in the game.
Yeah. That's never happened to me.
Wow.
I think that is a sign of psychosis.
Awesome.
So you might want to go get that checked out while you're getting treated for DK fever. But I read a little thing today saying that like some of the younger developers, they're skateboarding into work.
Awesome.
Which, what a beautiful life. Living in Kyoto, skating down to the Nintendo headquarters. But yes, and I'd like...
Going and finding some fucking 80-year-old man in your office and asking him what he thinks about this big chimp.
Yeah, he's like, can you make it a dinosaur?
Yeah.
And you're like, no, Grandpa Shiggy.
They did ask you, they were like, they've just got him in there to be able to like... pick his brain. Which, like, how cool is that he's still just there and around the company?
Yeah.
But he's like, I think the things that really signify Donkey Kong to me are his big, strong arms and his blowing. He's obsessed with Donkey Kong blowing.
What? When has he ever blown before?
All right. I
last
feel
time
like
my wife was out of town. All right.
When in Donkey Kong Country Returns, you can like... there's like it was, I think, on the... Maybe it was...
Was that a Wii U game or Wii...
On the 3DS, you would like... You literally would physically blow into the microphone.
Right. I knew there were some games that did that thing. Yeah, okay, so that was one of them.
So he can like blow like little kind of... what are they called? The little kind of flower things that are really... What are they called? Anyway, I
don't know.
You can sort of blow them out of the way and it'll reveal a little secret coin or whatever.
Right.
I feel like apparently that was again, Retro did kind of the same thing, and that was Miyamoto's suggestion. I don't know why he's so obsessed with Donkey Kong just blowing a little plant out of the way.
I mean, he loves his tactile stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like he loves, and they've experimented with that, like with multiple games on the DS and 3DS and all that stuff. It's never really caught on with anyone. It's always a bit of a chore. I think in the remaster of Donkey Kong Country Returns that came out a year ago on the Switch, you just like walked past the flowers and maybe hit a button and
I
they
think
did
you crouch and push a button and it does it, but still, as a move of his, it's a very strange one for the creator of him to think like, this is what it's all about.
Yeah, this guy loves to blow hot air.
He loves to blow hot air.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see how that's implemented in the game.
Yeah.
But anyway, so someone skateboarded past his desk to ask him that.
Yeah. Well, and specifically about Mario Kart World, I think the charge jump is basically like doing an ollie.
Oh yeah, okay. So it does make
right.
Because the cart kind of squats down a little bit before you leap up.
Build up the pressure. Yeah. So like, and that is, I think, one of the lesser liked features of the game. Because I don't know about you, it's really hard. Well, it's not really hard. Let's be serious. It's semi-chub to...
It's half mongrel.
To hit the charge jump because you're constantly turning. So I always find myself drifting instead.
Yeah, but then I guess this is the thing that there are people that have this as a complaint against the game. I personally don't mind it, but because you've got
$10 more than every other game that's ever been released.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yes,
I wish it cost more.
Yes.
The interim tracks. So when you're driving, you do spend a lot of time just going quite straight.
Yeah.
I think that there's so much stuff in that game when you're on those long stretches of highway where there's there's like all the crazy little characters are like shooting bombs at you off the back of carts and stuff.
Yeah.
And it does feel like the charge jump is is sort of to give you something to be able to do when you're on those like flat, long stretches.
Yeah. That's fair, and that's probably the time that I use it most. But then there's also all those times when you're trying to get onto a railing. But that I feel like that's a clear inspiration from skateboarding mechanics.
So they love skating in there.
They love to skate. I would love to see a Nintendo first-party skateboarding game.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll ever do it with Mario. They did have I think on the 3DS there was like a Mario, it's called like Mario Sports Mix or something like that. And there was like a bunch of, not quite the like at the Olympics ones, but like similar to that. I wonder if that had skateboarding in it. I don't believe that it did.
Yeah.
There'd have to have been a skateboarding mini game in a Mario Party at some stage.
Oh, sure.
Because there's so many fucking mini games in there now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let us know.
Yeah, write in and let us know. But there was something else that caught both of our attention this week.
Oh, yeah.
It was a big old 20-minute state of play.
Yeah.
All about Ghost of Yotei.
What?
They say it in the video. It's Yote.
Huh.
They say it over and over again, and I was like, man, I've been saying it wrong this whole time.
Yeah, that's annoying.
It's going to be hard to change my ways.
Yeah.
But Yote.
I feel like we could have used a 20-minute presentation
on the
when they
pronunciation.
first announced the game on just the pronunciation.
Thank you very much.
God, I love just really letting that word cook. It just feels like perfect, you know?
Absolutely.
It feels like that's what it's all about. I'm doing the word on the word.
Yes,
you know?
Yes. But Ghost of Yotei, the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima.
I don't like this at all.
I'm sorry. I don't make the rules.
Let's just do a thing like a whole country has done with Mario, but just for us. Like they've just decided they're going to say Mario and Yoshi completely wrong.
Yes.
And then be, writing into a podcast from another country and say, you guys are saying it wrong.
Yeah.
So let's just do that with Ghost of Yotei.
Okay. It does roll off the tongue a lot better.
Ghost of Yotei?
Ghost of Yotei.
Ghost of Yotei.
It's more, it feels like you're saying yo to someone called Tay.
Exactly.
And I don't like that.
Yeah.
I would never be so casual or flippant with anyone named Tay.
Yeah.
Whether it's Taylor Swift or Taylor Hawkins.
Yeah, nice.
And that is
R.I.P.
Yeah, exactly. I would never be flippant with Taylor Hawkins.
Yeah.
Ghost of Yotei. Fuck.
But it's looking red hot.
It's looking schmick.
Yeah, it's like this generation of console. I feel like still getting my way through Death Stranding 2.
Sure.
And just being like, it's just impossible for a game to look better than this.
Yes.
This is it. Just like stop kind of like new graphical advancements here.
Yeah.
And if we work on getting this into a like hybrid portable thing, this level of tech, then everyone's going to be happy.
Yes.
If you could do this on the bus, we don't need a home console to look any better than this. Basically, we're at the ceiling. But then you fire up Ghost of Yotei and it's like, am I looking at something from the next gen?
Right.
Like it fucking looks red hot.
And I think like Death Stranding, like sci-fi shit aside, and even a lot of that, it's like sort of like holograms within real space and, like some of the machinery, the mechs and stuff. But like it looks like the landscape, the environment especially looks real. It just looks real.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of artistic license taken with it. And I think Ghost of Yotei, it adds that extra level of like fidelity-wise, it could look photorealistic or, close to.
Yeah, I think there's something with like the foliage in those Ghost games that look a little less like, not unrealistic, but they're a little more stylized.
That's what I was going to say,
So it sort of looks a bit more impressive, a bit more fluid.
Yes.
Sort of like longer, kind of chunkier bits of grass.
That's it, yeah.
I honestly I feel like a lot of these kind of graphical advancements where you read about, like, I still don't know that I fully understand what ray tracing is. I'm sort of yet to really see any example of it where I'm like, whoa. But the thing I've really been noticing lately, as the fact that it's a big kind of, one of the big advancements that's in the Switch 2 is HDR. Like noticing that in like the skies in the sunset in Mario Kart World, when you're up on like a big vista and you kind of spin the camera around, and then a lot of it in like Death Stranding, like those skies where you can just see that real, that like hard like contrast between the brightness of the sun and then the ground starting to get a bit dark. It's like that's the thing that is like the one thing I've really started noticing lately,
right?
That is like really pulling me in and making me think like this is photorealistic. That's the current thing that's really doing it for me.
Yeah, right. And yes, I think it's on full display with something like Ghost of Yotei, and even like I don't know if I ever played maybe the director's cut of Tsushima, but certainly playing it on a PS5 with HDR and with like the TV that we both have.
Yeah.
Yep. It does. That kind of stuff looks fucking spectacular. Red Dead Redemption 2 as well. A lot of the sort of, the sky effects and the lighting interaction with stuff like that looks incredible.
And it's really like, it's such a simple thing. I don't know what kind of processing power like it takes to get it, looking like that. But it does feel like it's a relatively like simple thing.
Yeah.
It's the gap for anyone not across the lingo.
Yes.
It's the gap between the lightest light and the darkest dark.
Yes.
So it just means like it more like replicates
reality.
Nature.
Yeah.
And it does just feel like a TV setting that's like clicked on.
Yeah.
And then just that gap is widened.
What is it?
Which
High
again,
dynamic
on paper,
range?
You go like,
Yeah.
Which on paper you go, okay. Like I remember always reading about it and being like, and I've had it on in games for, a while now because of that TV, but it just is, in the last like 3 months, there's just been, I guess, a few games that have just used it especially well.
Yes.
Any like big... Any like, real environmental stuff, but especially like kind of wilderness based where you're getting like these beautiful sunsets and
reflections. Yes. But I think, I do think we still have a way to go with character models and lip syncing and shit like that. That's probably the thing that will be the final leap. And that's kind of like imagining a actually photoreal video game character.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I also don't know that I need that. Like, I don't need to look at it and, I mean, you look at, like, Death Stranding and you go, that is literally Norman Reedus.
Right.
They've been able to put him in there and, there's been versions of them being able to do, like, an estimation of a person for a long time.
Yeah.
And definitely, like, I was watching a bit. I feel like in that game, there's a scene that I just saw last night that I won't spoil, but it kind of takes place away from more of the, you're not on the Magellan, you're not in this kind of like futuristic-y wasteland. It's just like a guy is just wearing a shirt and a blazer and he's in an office.
Yep.
Like it looks like it could be modern day.
Yep.
Well, it looks like it could just be like a normal, like a film set in the present day or whatever.
Yeah.
But because it doesn't have like, the setting doesn't have the flourishes of those like big designed things. It's trying to just be like a normal office. It did weirdly to me look less real.
Yeah.
Than the kind of like fantasy stuff that is in that game.
Right.
But I don't know that I need to, I don't know that I'm going to gain any benefit. I'm going to feel more immersed in the game just by the people looking a little bit more realistic.
Right. And like, I think that speaks to your taste and probably mine as well, where we like things to be stylized.
Yeah.
And we like a bit of characterization that's not just one-to-one photoreal. And I think there's probably, like I said, there is still some advancements to be made.
I think like The Last of Us 2 and the facial animations in that and that not just being like, look at this. Like, it actually did do so much to convey what was going on in that story.
Yeah.
And clearly Naughty Dog have some kind of juice in there, where if that was the norm, if that was like every studio was able to reach that level and be able to do, more things in their stories where people were reacting in a very human way and not just like a more static kind of model standing there looking at them.
Yeah. And I guess that's it, right? It's like, at the moment, people with lots and lots and lots of money and the reasonable expectation that they are going to make it back the ones that are doing it and like have the capability to. I mean, I like Unreal 5 has that. I forget what it's called, but it's basically like a face generator, and you can muck around with it, and you can test out expressions, and you can tweak like literally like the size of the pores on someone's face, like just everything about the visual character. And that's something that I think is fairly available for people to use. But yes, when you have like that one-to-one human motion capture where the expressions are as good as they are in The Last of Us 2, and that is available for every game, then that's where I would consider like we've reached that level of like advancement.
Yeah, I think it's hard because every new console that comes along has bells and whistles and it's capable of a bit more. And so, of course, developers push it a bit harder and you start to get games coming out that, yeah, even though they're running on this incredibly advanced piece of hardware that, 10 years ago we would have thought as if we'll ever need anything that powerful.
Sure.
But it's being pushed to the limits, and then as a result, the games aren't running as well. It just would be great to get to a point where those advancements just mean everything works really well.
Yes.
Everything works smoothly and reliably.
Yep.
We're not going out of our way to like break the hardware by making it do things that it's sort of technically not meant to do. And also therefore bringing in these like massive teams of people and having these long development times. If we kind of reach a ceiling and like teams can kind of like learn and get that down to a fine art.
Right. Standardize a lot of stuff.
That's going to shrink the development times down.
Yeah, absolutely. But all of this to say, where we are at currently means we're able to make these games like Yote that look incredible, like these stunning lighting effects, beautiful sky, beautiful environment. And then if you stylize a lot of the aspects, like some of the way that the environment's presented and the characters, and I think using sort of like having a historical setting, so it's not like, and again, I think the issue where you see in Death Stranding an office room and you're like, this doesn't feel quite as realistic as walking up a mountain, it's because you've been in an office.
There's just also something about, like, I just really noticed in that scene the way the characters kind of like sit and move and the way their like normal ass clothes look. Because they're not those like stylized over the top costumes.
You can't add all these reflections and details.
It didn't look bad. It just looked weird. I mean, what it's going for, it just looked weirdly drab. But it just really stuck out to me as like, and this isn't a fault. This is by design. But I was like, this is weird that this looks less believable than everything else that's been happening in the game.
Totally.
But also that scene it's kind of, it's not a dream so much, but it's kind of meant to feel that way. It's meant to be like a person's weird memory or whatever.
Yeah. But yes, like having this historical setting with all these such, elaborate buildings, elaborate costumes, you get to lean into all of these little details and little, little touches and elements and tweaks and stuff that I think it just helps build it out and feel a bit more substantive.
Yeah, well, I guess too, the type of game it is, like something like Death Stranding where the design of the game is just a barren wilderness. And not to say that doesn't require processing power to make it look believable and beautiful and everything, but you compare that to something like Cyberpunk where they've gone, the whole point of this game is that you're in this big city with big towers. Even something like Red Dead Redemption was populated, but little western towns, little like, the most developed to play. Oh, that actually, when I played it on PS4 and you got to, what's it called? The like city?
Saint Denis, I think.
I think so.
Like the New Orleans kind of
I remember it would, on the PS4, it would like chug a fair bit when you would get into that. It's like the one part. But so like, if you're developing an open world game where you've got a city for most of it.
Yes.
And as part of that, you want to have a lot of cars driving around. You want to have a lot of people walking around the streets. Like
all these advertisements and all these things that require lighting effects and shit like that.
The benefit of Death Stranding is that they've just been able to go like, let's just get the environment to look good. And that's obviously still a lot of work, but they're not also having to figure out like these living, breathing things that are all kind of like interacting with it at the same time.
Yeah. And I think, I just love how this Ghost of Yotei looks. I think the environments in that look spectacular. The setting, I think, helps as well. Like you say, it's not this wasteland. It's this lush, diverse, interesting kind of, vista with these little towns and these little kind of, little temples and towers and fucking... Yeah. Oh, my God. It looks so good.
So let's kind of go through maybe some of the stuff that was in the state of play. The big thing that got reported on was that the different, director modes are back. So the first one had that, black and white...
Kurosawa
mode. Did they patch that in or was that in there day one?
I'm pretty sure that was day one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So this has got 3 different ones.
Yes.
Kurosawa mode's back. You've also got Takashi Miike mode.
Oh, yeah.
Which puts the camera closer to the action and features more blood and mud during fights.
Yes, Takashi Miike, a kind of an exploitation director. A lot of violent horror films, action films. Very cool.
And also... Shinichiro Watanabe for a presentation mode that adds lo-fi beats to exploration and combat.
Yeah.
He's the director of Samurai Champloo.
Yeah. Yes.
Which I've never watched. I might have to go in on some of that.
It's fucking awesome. I'm pretty sure that he also did Cowboy Bebop.
He did. Yeah. So he's made some music specifically for this game.
Yep.
And it's not a director mode, is it? It's just it's not like the other two.
Yeah.
Like the Kurosawa mode is in black and white and kind of changes the angles, and the other one is adds more blood and gore and stuff.
Yeah.
I think this is just if you want to listen to lo-fi hip hop beats.
Yes.
While you're cruising around. Really weird.
Very
but looks
weird.
Awesome. It's kind of strange to have this mode in there that sort of does kind of undermine the sort of stylistic idea of like the whole rest of the game. It sort of seems like the sort of thing that would be in there as like a DLC down the line, or like a free update, or a new game plus kind of thing.
Yeah.
I know that anytime there's stuff like this in a game, I kind of lock into the way that I want to play it, and then I can just kind of feel it in the back of my brain going like, why don't you just toggle it on for anything that you can kind of like toggle back and forth between sort of drives me a bit insane. No, like even like graphics and performance modes, like just knowing that it's there in a menu and feeling like, am I doing this the right way? Am I doing this the way that I'm going to enjoy it the most?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like especially for just bits where you're often in these games, you get to a point where you have like long bits of terrain to cross.
Yes.
And you're kind of like zigzagging across the map once you're like, 10 hours in or so. I think definitely once you're like that far in and just covering terrain, making the music a little more kind of dynamic, a little more sort of interesting.
Because that Samurai Champloo is a feudal Japan era, samurais going on a little quest, but all the music is exactly that kind of lo-fi beats, chill hip hop sort of thing. So I guess it's for fans of that, basically.
Yeah.
I definitely I appreciate that the Kurosawa mode is cool, and it kind of. They do kind of pull it off in a way that isn't like just a shitty filter. Like it adds that high contrast and the grain and all of that. But you miss out on all of the cool colors in the game.
Definitely that mode,
it's such
especially.
A game.
Yeah, those visual ones definitely seem more like a thing that would be cool to like finish the game and then do a playthrough all in that.
Yeah.
We also got a bit of a look at all the costumes and customization and stuff. There was a cool shot in the state of play of like just they kind of show you a bunch of the different ones, and then they had this kind of rendered shot of like just all of them kind of piled up. In sort of like a fake changing room or whatever. That was cool. We love customization.
Oh yes,
love some costume options.
All the different weapons. It was another thing. It's like katana, some like chain and blade thing, like a giant sword that you carry on your back, double swords, maybe another one. But like very different play styles, and they sort of emphasize like there will be. you're going to probably want to use all of them at different points.
Yep.
Like they're perfect for countering certain enemies and getting an edge over others. So that's cool.
Yep.
That's cool. Even though I probably will lock in with like a sick katana that I fully customize.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, like we love options, we love customization, and so
you
that's
got your
very
little
cool.
bounties that you can do.
Yes.
You got your little notice board in little villages that have people that you can go and track down.
It's a much bigger like space than the previous one. Tsushima is like a relatively small island, and I think this is like set on Hokkaido and is pretty significantly bigger.
Yeah. Did you finish Tsushima ever?
I believe I did. Yeah,
I got to like the last bit. I had like not that long to go. I started it on the 4, I guess.
Yeah.
Did a bit of it, dropped off, picked it back up during COVID. Kind of put it back down onto easy because the whole, the combat system was just involved enough that I was like, I've just forgotten how to do all of this. I need to give myself a bit of a training wheels to be able to, because I was like far enough into the game where I was like just kind of figuring out what to do again on the fly. I was just getting murdered. And just kind of, cruised through it. Was enjoying it and was enjoying where the story was going and everything, but was definitely mostly, in lockdown, enjoying just cruising around. Yeah. Just enjoying the real open worldness of it.
Yes.
So just going to the point on the map is enough for me.
Yeah, I definitely, and I don't usually do it this way. I slowed down before I finished it. Like I was like, well, there's these like jewels that you can go around and do that are really sick and cinematic, and you're unlocking these different swords and stuff as part of that.
Yep.
I knocked off a lot of that stuff, but I'm pretty sure I went through all the way to the end. You're fighting those Mongols. You're jumping around.
Why did I was getting really near the end. I should pick it back up actually and try and just do the last little bit of it.
Yeah. I remember thinking like, this is a fine story. Like it's very middle of the road. It's like, well, you're the hero and there's bad guys and you got to regain your honor.
Yeah.
For your dad or something.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah. I think too. Like it was maybe not all that long. Like it was just after getting the PS5 that was like my big. Like I remember I did I'd never done the last, like the epilogue of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh,
so I did that on the 5.
Yeah.
And obviously, that already looked amazing, but even better. And this was the same with like just it looking so smooth.
Oh yeah.
So I should go back in and finish it.
I mean I know, what is it? October this is coming out?
October 2, I think. Yeah.
I guess that's enough time to not feel like I've wrung everything out of that game by a playthrough of the first one again, because it's been a while. I only played through it once, and like I said, I'd done all of the extra stuff before finishing the story, and I think just kind of was like I never played the upgraded version. So
sure.
It might be time to do that. But fuck, I'm very keen for this.
Exciting stuff.
We've been keen for this since it was announced. It's kind of been like written in pen in the diary, like this is going to be a good one. I feel like
it was one of those games where when it came out, people were a little mild on it. Some people kind of clicked with it immediately. I remember we all were a little tepid on it. It felt like the response was a bit all over the place, and then over time, people have gone like, "No, this actually rips."
Yeah. And we talked about this a bit. I think last week. Again, we've been recording at all times of the week. That PlayStation has a bit of a dearth of big new AAA games.
Yeah.
Like this is, aside from Death Stranding 2.
Yeah.
This is the other big one we're waiting for this year. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot more attention paid to it, like there is with I think everything now. From COVID onwards, the hype train has crystallized around every single release.
Yeah, totally.
But pumped for this.
Yeah. So let's get into what we've been playing.
All right.
Yeah.
Would you like to go first? Because I think there's a bit more to say about your game, honestly.
Oh, okay. Well, I've got a few. I've got 2 smaller ones.
Okay.
I kept seeing that they'd added some new stuff to Astro Bot, which they've done a couple of times now, and I'd never gone back to it since finishing it when it came out.
Yep.
And I fired it up last night. So there's like, what they've added is there was like a little galaxy that they'd already put in once post-game of some like really tough challenge levels.
Right.
And they've added 5 more of them. There's also like a speed running little galaxy that's got a few levels in it.
Okay.
I haven't touched them yet. What I did play last night, which I guess they added end of last year because it's like a Christmas themed level.
Oh yeah.
And so you're in this sort of like winter wonderland. You're dressed up as Santa, and it's cool. It's kind of like it could have been its own thing in the base game when you finish it. Because it's kind of like a best of the rest of the game. So it's like this one sort of open environment where you've got like, there's a big Christmas tree. You've got like 10 little presents around the level that you're trying to find that'll eventually, they've all got like skins for the controller in it and new little robots in them.
Right.
And then like once you've found all them, you finish the level. But there's just kind of like dotted around, there's just all these different little areas where you use kind of all of the little power-ups that are in the game.
Right.
In this one little section.
Oh, cool.
It's cool. Yeah, it's really neat.
Okay, right. So it's not like a hub world with levels. It's like...
No, it's one level that's just sort of a big kind of... It's like a big plaza.
Yeah, right.
That's got these little houses around it. So like one of them you smash down through the floor and then you're in an underwater bit where you've got that little power up, and then one of them's like a house that you can get the little mouse one that would shrink you down, and then you can kind of walk around inside the house.
Oh, that's very cool.
And then others are just like little, like you get the boxing gloves one, and then there's like a little boss that you have to fight.
Fuck yeah!
So it is all sort of self-contained in the one little bit, but it's all kind of you're not like leaving and going into another bit.
Right.
It's cool, and it's such a neat idea to have. I wish more games did a like one-off Christmas themed level that came out around Christmas.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be sick if like almost every game that you owned had like a little special
little Christmas
themed challenge to do. Yeah. Not just a costume, like an actual here's a little level to play.
Oh, I mean, fucking Sam Porter Bridges could be Santa Claus.
Exactly.
Oh, yes.
I was like I really enjoyed going back into that game. But I was like, man, I wish I had have played this in Christmas. This would have really gotten me in the spirit.
I mean, we don't really do a big Christmas in July.
No,
here.
But
yeah, that sounds awesome. And you're right, like fucking chuck in a little Christmas DLC, like they do in the UK where they all drop their singles at Christmas time.
Exactly.
Bring it back.
I also played the demo of Islanders New Shore.
Yeah.
Which you played the first one of and liked.
Yes, very, very fun game. Very much a lo-fi beats to chill and study and relax to kind of game. You drop in, it's little... Is it little tiles or it's little buildings
you've got
one
an
at
island
a time?
And you've got like a little, a sort of a meter that you've got to fill up. Right. You've got a score that you've got to reach. And you get kind of a random choice between 2 building packs. It might be like town or like brewery. So in the town you might have like the city centre, a house and a mansion, and they're all those houses are worth like maybe 5 points.
Yes.
But if the house is next to the city centre, it gets an extra 2 points.
Yep.
And if a mansion's next to another mansion, it gets another 3 points.
Yep.
And so it's the same with like, let's say the brewery, you might have to have like the brewery near a wheat field.
Yes.
And then you also have certain houses that if they're in the radius of the same type of that house, they lose points, or if they're near certain things, they lose points or they gain more, or they've all got kind of different things going for them.
Yeah, put a little fishery down on the coast. Yeah. And again, like, you can... I think you put maybe even little fishing spots out in the water, and they gain extra points, and everything kind of interacts in this like interesting but very clear way. Like it's all spelled out before you place anything down, like what you're gonna get. And like you say, there's sort of these running tallies that you kind of constantly have to hit to keep expanding. Yeah.
So you can do you can play it in a mode where you just you're just placing stuff to aesthetically make a little an island that looks cool. But then this kind of, I could see this being really addictive, the kind of high score element of it, and really getting into the strategy of where you place stuff, and it's very serene. You're kind of this zoomed out God's eye view one of those games where you're like, what reality is this happening in? You're not like a guy going around doing this. It's just like, okay, I'm God.
Yeah.
I'm God placing buildings.
Yeah, and yes, from memory, like every time you sort of like hit that target or you hit a target a certain amount of times, you can choose to like go off to a new island with different terrain and different sort of effects that will happen with the buildings that you're putting down, and you just kind of go as long as you can. I remember like you say, really getting stuck in the loop of this game for a long time.
It's kind of real dopamine central where you like you plonk that city center down, and then the score that you get from that, you just see these coins like kind of filling up the corner of the screen.
Yeah.
It's a cool idea. Yeah, it's like such a nice balance between just those city builders and just kind of putting shit wherever, but also it having a bit of strategy to it, a bit of like gamified.
Yeah, you're still mentally engaged. It's not purely a relaxation, like a mindfulness thing. But I played the demo yet, but I'm very, very keen to, and I'm probably just going to boot up the old one as well. I will say, I realized I haven't said this on the pod yet, that I finished Death Stranding 2.
Oh yeah,
got all the way through it. I clocked it in about 30 hours, which obviously means I didn't do a lot of side stuff.
Yeah.
But all the way through the story, and I have to say, it is so much more interesting the whole way through than the first one.
Where I'm at with the story now is like, we were talking about this yesterday, it's really cranking up.
Yeah.
In a really interesting way.
I feel like the characters are so much more interesting, and some of them are the same characters as the last game. Yeah. But they've added so much depth, and we talked about this, I think, when we first did those couple of weeks on the game itself. The team sort of approach and the interaction of those characters, and it being more about human connection, and like, you know, the downsides to that, the tragedy of that at times. It's so much more effective to me than you're this one guy and he's kind of real traumatized, and he's got to go on this quest, and half of the time you don't know if any of it's real.
Yeah, I think in the first one I still really liked all of this about it, but I was really like zoned out on a lot of the further in you get, it gets like way more esoteric and silly and Kojima-esque. And obviously, that's kind of, if you're enjoying what he does, that's just, you're along for the ride of that.
Yep.
And you kind of, you get the sense that, I think realizing that there's certain things that he does where you're just kind of not meant to know what's going on.
Sure.
Like sometimes it feels like, oh, I've missed something here.
Right.
But it's like you hear people talk about his work on other podcasts or whatever, and it's just like, then this comes up and that hasn't really been introduced at all. It's just very like, it's like, oh, okay, he really does just go on vibes.
Yeah.
And I was into the vibe of the first one, but it really was just like, I'm kind of... Being lost is kind of part of this in terms of the story being very silly and overblown. And this is still doing that stuff, but it's got this actual real human story at the center of it that is like so much more effective and interesting the further you go. Like which makes sense because you could kind of disconnect from the story a little bit in the first one because you were enjoying playing the game and like kind of coming to grips with that. But with this one, they know that people have done all of that before. So you couldn't just do the exact same thing of having, if the gameplay is going to be the same, you can't have a similarly overblown, silly story that's kind of impossible to latch onto in the same way.
Yeah. And like you say, it's not completely different, and it has so much creativity in where the story is going as well, not just sort of the setting and some of the set dressing. You know, it's like, the characters look fucking awesome and weird and bizarre and interesting, and the enemy stuff that they introduce is, like with the first one, a lot of the BTs and the big ones that kind of spawn and are boss battles, they're all cool and interesting, but you just kind of care about what's happening a lot more. And even just on a really basic storytelling level, it just feels more like a sort of traditional arc, like a little bit, and so it's a little bit more. A lot of people.
It almost
said this
feels
about
like
the
it would be
gameplay.
the other way around, right?
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
This first one would have the real kind of human story, and then they get to the second one, and you're going like, oh, it's just gone kind of off the rails and is a bit silly, and I've lost that thing that I cared about.
Yeah, but yes, I think like the gameplay itself is a lot more accessible, and the story is as well. But they're both still different to any other game that's ever been made except for Death Stranding 1. Like, still so creative and unique and bizarre. And I just loved it. The way that they sort of like escalates even like the gameplay and the presentation of the story in the last couple of chapters is great, and it's not silly. Like it's silly in a good way, I guess.
Yeah, I'm kind of having that dual thing where I really wanted to finish it A, before Donkey Kong, B, before I go away, where I'm like, I really want to just like kind of power through it, but I also want to savor it.
Sure.
You know, in these bigger games where you're like, I've been in this stretch of it where, this isn't a spoiler, but is he the Prime Minister? He starts to get sus on what's going on.
Right.
And so he introduces the concept to you that he'll start contacting you on a private line.
Yeah.
And there's like maybe like 8 or 9 bits in a row where he calls you, and he always introduces the call by going, I'm calling you on your private line again. Or sorry to call you on the private line again.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just such a funny thing to be in there, because if you're Sam, you would see that the phone is ringing on the private line. So you would just know that.
Yes.
You wouldn't like, I wouldn't call you and go, hey Ben, it's me. I'm calling you on the telephone.
Yeah. Oh, thank God. I didn't know what was going on.
So funny. He does it so many times in a row.
Yeah. There is a lot of stuff with this game where there's a lot of repetition, and I think it's purposeful, and it's like people have pointed out, like every time like Tarman calls you, or I think anytime anyone refers to the ship, they say the DHV Magellan.
Oh, every like new like kind of missions that end in like kind of making you go to the private room.
Yeah.
So that you can be radioed from in there to set up what's happening next in the story. You hear, Sam, it's Tarman here. It's like, yeah, there's 4 people on this ship.
You're the only
3 of them are women.
Yeah.
2 of them are women. One's a puppet that's in the room with me, and you.
Yeah.
I know who you are.
Yeah. You're Dr. George Miller. You don't have to say that.
I'm 20 hours into this game. I know who this character is.
Sam, it's Tarman here. Yeah. No one else sounds like you, bruh. But loved it. Absolutely loved it. Powered through it towards the end. Like you say, like I did want to savor it, but I also wanted to experience it. Like,
I mean savor in terms of like I want to go and do everything. I want to build all the roads.
Yeah.
I want to do the side stuff. Like I feel like this exact same thing happened to me in the last game, and with a lot of open world stuff. I start off just kind of powering through, and then you reach a point where you just, without even being too conscious of it, you're like, time to get sidetracked. Like you just get into a point where you're like, oh, actually, that side thing, I only have to detour a little bit to go drop that off on the way to the other thing. And then while I'm there, I may as well like aim for that auto paver, stock that up, and then you get that done and you're like, well, why don't I just drive down to the next bit? And like, even like logging off for a bit and then getting back on, and you look at the map and a bunch of the roads have been built for you. It's so sick. Like, and we, like, I don't think, we haven't talked about this on the show, but I read somewhere that again, just another like such a cool implementation of online stuff that is like sort of just nice and in the background without being like, you don't really have to interact with any of that stuff if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Like I personally, like I never put signs down. I never put supply requests.
No.
The fact that a part of the, if a lot of people have kind of driven or walked in the same direction, the terrain starts to get worn down and form a bit of a path.
Yes.
Is so sick.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
But yes, I think there's like 3 modes of like online integration where it's like full, there's like only certain things like structures maybe.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's like, I think you can turn all of it off if you want and play fully solo. And I've got it on the middle one. So I think it gets rid of signs and supply requests and things like that. And so,
interesting. I didn't know you could. I thought you just had to have it. I didn't know there was like a middle ground of it.
Yes, there's definitely a middle ground, and it helps it be a little bit less cluttered, which is a complaint that a lot of people have about that aspect of it.
I think when I've started playing this one as well, and even like I was trying to turn off the like notifications on the side of the screen that come up that'll just say like whatever random person
has like
fucking picked up a gun that you dropped or whatever, but it's constant.
Yep.
And I couldn't find a way to turn like those notifications off. But then at a certain point I'm like, this is the game though. This is the game is like being reminded that other people are playing this simultaneously, that people are interacting with this same world as you.
Yeah.
And as much as, the driving around and seeing like all these different structures and not even structures, just like little stupid signs that people have put up.
Yep.
At a certain point you just go, this is cool. I like driving through. I like that there's always like 8 that have been put down the ramp into a facility, hitting them with a little like every like I like in your skill tree one of your upgrades is like increases the window of time that you can give a like to a to a structure or sign or whatever. The ones that people can place where it's like the big holograms. So there's one that's like a big rubber duck that people can put like
the Kojima like mascot, the Productions mascot. I
do like that he puts all this stuff in there that is like, I don't know. It's so immersion breaking.
Yes.
Like I haven't seen this yet, but I've seen it posted online a few times. There's like a bit where you can sit in some hot springs and look up at the stars. And one of the constellations is just him. It's Kojima.
Yes.
Which should immediately make you go, fuck this, I'm out. I'm playing a video game. But you're simultaneously really expected to buy in on all this like deep lore and narrative stuff and care about these characters, but be constantly reminded that you're playing a video game.
Yes.
Because all of that stuff about like, there is kind of the in-world justification of like, the porters have left this.
Right.
But it's kind of, but it's not. Like it's so, it really is hard to believe like, and they do. I don't think did they do this in the first one that sometimes you'll see like people walking around?
I personally didn't remember that ever happening. I thought it was a new thing. So maybe it is. Little sort of, not even like holographic, like they're sort of.
They're actual, they don't, you can't do anything with them other than like, they're carrying things that you can.
Yeah.
So they're a representation of someone else's avatar.
Yeah.
They're not like live in the game with you.
No.
But you can like if you drive towards them, they'll jump out of the way.
Yeah.
Like,
you can wave at them.
You can wave at them. You can like you can swap a parcel with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, it does make it feel lived in, because that was the thing about the very video gamey nature of planting signs and the justification being that it's other porters from the first game was like, why don't I ever see anyone else out in the world? And not that I want there to be like 100 people running around, but just every now and then seeing a guy here or there again, it's like it puts you in a little bit more. It's a nice touch.
Yeah, totally. And like there's constant like moments in cutscenes where characters are like looking down the barrel of the camera, but it's like, it's all part of the experience.
Yeah.
It just works for whatever reason. It's all fun. It's all in like the right.
Well, he's got great actors in it. I think like a game that is sort of asking you to buy in, but also be very video gamey. Oftentimes has voice acting that's not that great, and that takes you out of it. Like this, you're watching like actual performances that the facial animations and everything look so real and believable. So like it kind of does give it a license to do all of that other shit, because then when it is really locking in, it is true. Very cinematic and feels very believable in those moments where it really needs to. Well, on the other end of the spectrum, I've been playing a game called Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time.
I've heard a bit about this game, and I kind of didn't want to go in while I was like really focused on Death Stranding 2, but the concept of this sounds really fun.
I don't know why I decided to go in at this specific. I think I was looking at Tony Hawk 3 and 4, chose not to go in just yet because I was a bit like, I enjoyed 1 and 2, felt like a bit of a known quantity. I wasn't really there for those originals back in the day, so I don't have the same kind of like, fever for going back in as other people. I thought this would maybe be a good one to play on holiday, but definitely like knock off the beginning bits and get into the loop of it. So, it's kind of hard to explain. It's kind of 3 games at the same time. It's like a sort of an Animal Crossing crossed with a Zelda, where the setup is you are this explorer, you're on this flying ship, you get sucked into a time portal, you go back in time, you kind of lose a bunch of people from your crew, and you then kind of slowly you kind of get your gang back together.
Right.
You get this dragon that can kind of fly you around and fly you back and forth in time. So when you're fast traveling, you've got a choice between these 3 different maps, one of which is back in time, 2 of which are the present day. So basically, you've got this village, and so this is a sequel to a game that was on the 3DS.
Yeah.
Which was like kind of a bit of a cult hit. Mm-hmm. And I vaguely remember when this one got announced, people were like, holy shit, we're getting another fantasy life. So the main thrust of it is that lives in the game are basically jobs or classes. So you go to this office, you pick one that'll be anything from like tailor, chef, to like combat ones like, mage or mercenary. And then you've got also like miner, wood chopper. They're in those kind of 3 sort of ranges. And you then are doing like a little, in the crafting ones, you're doing like a little mini game. Mm-hmm. So you'll go like, here's the recipe. You've got basically these 3 different stations that you're having to like move between and kind of hit button prompts at the right time.
Right.
And do that as quickly as you can, and that'll dictate whether you craft the thing and then like the quality of the thing that you've crafted. Mm-hmm. So you're doing that, and then within that there's like little quests to do, there's like leveling up, there's like new recipes that you get access to. There's like little stat trees for each of those. There's 14 of those different kind of job classes total.
Right.
And you can kind of switch between them and start a new one whenever you want. So you can do like the very beginnings of one, and it sort of forces you to do this in the beginning of the game. It's like you'll just following the story, you'll hit a point where it's like, oh, we need you to go and chop down these rocks. And so it's like, hey, why don't you go to the job office and sign up to be a miner? And then and like all of them have like a very rudimentary like beginning chapter to them, where literally it's like, go over here and get some cotton from this guy and then come back here.
Right.
And once you've done one of them, it gives you the option of just skipping that and going straight in, which they all have like a little bit of flavor to them. There's often like a funny little character that you meet. So it is, I've been skipping them just for the purposes of like getting into it a bit quicker.
Yeah.
Because like the fact that there's so much, it's doing so many different things at once, that the experience of starting it out and just being like tutorialized on all this different stuff, it just pulls you in so many different directions, like right out the gate. It kind of starts to show you all this like crafting side of it, and you kind of are like, all right, I see what's going on here. You get your recipes and you're building up and you're reaching new levels and you're getting more access, and then immediately you're whisked away to this kind of big open world area that is massive, that has these shrines in it that are like little puzzles. There's also like enemies. There's like resources around that you can find, but it's this big, big open world map that is kind of where I think a lot of the story stuff is taking place.
Right.
So you're out there, you go on a little quest. You've got you're also finding through story beats and in different things, you're doing like little buddies that can accompany you on these expeditions and have their own like skills and weaknesses, and you can kind of level them up and improve your relationship with them. And then the third tier to it is another little island that is like your base camp, which is essentially the Animal Crossing bit, where you're furnishing a house for yourself. You're making houses for these little buddies that you meet in the story. I think in order to get them to join your party, you have to like make a little house for them.
Right.
You have to keep them happy. You meet different people through that. You're trying to inspire more people to come to your island. So you've got like bits of the island that have like this wreckage that you can't develop over, and you'll go over to it and it'll say like, you need like 5 islanders to be able to like clear out this shit, and you've only got 2. So you're sort of, I'm still at the point, I'm like 4.5 hours in, and I'm still at the point where, again, it's kind of like dropped me around in each of them for a little bit, and then is like, hey, this thing's happening in the story. Now we're going back here.
Right.
That I'm still kind of having a little trouble in my brain kind of passing how these 3 things all kind of interact with one another. But it does feel like, the main point of this game and the previous game is the is the 14 different job classes that you're doing your different bits of like, needing to, craft this table and I need wood for that. So I'll go out and I'll use my woodcutter skill to chop that down. And then around all of the villages, there's like there's little characters that have little requests for you, little jobs, and the more of them that you've done, the higher level your town is. It's a lot of watching meters go up and numbers go up, and really getting into that loop of like, it's a lot to it. It's like a fucking massive game.
Right.
It's pretty easy to recommend in the sense that like if you've liked any of that kind of stuff in any of the other places that have done it, and from what I gather, you get to a point where there's kind of a story that you can follow along, or you can just really lock in and not do any of it and just be building shit for your little Animal Crossing island.
Right.
Like at the moment, it's still sort of, pulling me along in this kind of early on story. But I think even now I'd be able to just ignore that and be doing what I want to do without needing to like, I think pretty much from the get-go, everything is there. It's not like this bit is gated behind. Right. It's not like you need to get to a certain point before it'll let you do whatever job you want.
Right.
But I still am pretty keen for it to go hands off and just let me cook.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
I mean, by the sounds of it, you are quite early on. Like it sounds like
people put hundreds of hours into this. Yeah. But the style is like, it's really nice. It's really like, it is kind of so it's the people that make like Professor Layton, and they have a few other series that they do, but it's very cute. It's very charming, very chibi, really fun character designs. It kind of has that, not quite all the way, but that sort of Link's Awakening remake kind of look where it's sort of a bit zoomed out, very rounded edges, very toy box kind of feel.
Yes.
But it all feels very alive. The UI, the menus, everything's got like a nice little tactile feel to it. The combat's a little simplistic, like it's not RPG combat or anything. It's very much just like real time hack and slash.
It's more
dodge.
Like a Stardew Valley, just
kind of.
You just have a thing and you hit the
or just like top down Zeldas where it's there's not a great deal of like skill or strategy to it. It's just like get your level up, dodge out of the way, slash at the right time.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm pretty drawn into it. It's I think I had just like a totally different idea of what it was in my head. But
right.
Yeah, it looks and runs great on the Switch too. I think it's on everything.
Yes.
If you've been looking for me, those cozy games, I don't tend to love them unless there's like a bit more to do. There needs to be like a bit more of like a story or something, kind of
a bit of complexity to the mechanics even.
And this is definitely that.
Yeah, awesome. I'm going to definitely give this a crack.
Yeah, it's cool. It's pretty impressive like how much it's doing all at once. And it is quite overwhelming, but it's not a complete mess. Like it kind of seems like they got all these systems kind of interacting with each other quite nicely. Like, I keep thinking like, man, this is a really good value game. Like, you can just tell there's like a lot to it.
Yeah. I mean, yes, if you're someone that digs that kind of style visually and the presentation and you want value for money, and hey, like if you want something to play on the Switch that's not just Cyberpunk or Mario Kart World or something like that, seems like a perfect fit. I mean, we're still waiting for a new Animal Crossing game.
I mean, that's the thing. I'm kind of more into the job system and the crafting open
and building. Oh, right.
Well, the open world and the like dungeons and stuff more so than the straight up Animal Crossing island bit. And so I've been thinking like maybe I'll get to a point where I'll let Lauren loose on the little island bit and she can do all the she can kind of handle that side of it.
Yeah,
and I'll do all the other stuff.
Yeah, nice. Fantasy Life. The girl who
steals time.
Oh, okay.
I still don't quite know what that's about.
No. Well, I've been playing that other game that we keep mentioning, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 Remake.
Yeah.
It's the same as the other one, but it's newer.
Yep.
It's great. I don't know. I do remember going in, and I think at least 3 back in the day, and there being a pretty significant sort of, not drop off, but like everyone who loved 1 also loved 2.
Yep.
and vice versa. But not everyone also loved 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And I think there's this slight difference in the way it feels. And that may be more because of the design of the levels than the actual feel. Like, I'm sure with these 2 remakes, the controls, the weight, the feel of the
this
actual
remake
movement.
has also been handled by different people to the last batch too, which is interesting.
And I do, maybe this is something they've carried over, that a feeling of difference slightly in the mechanics from 1 and 2 to 3 and 4. But it feels a bit harder. It feels a bit tougher. It might be because of the placement of like all of those goals throughout the levels.
Sure.
There's something that felt a little bit more like fast and arcadey and easy to jump into with the first 2, or at least, you know, with that remake of the first 2 that is the most recent thing I played of them, where it doesn't quite feel as fun. I don't know why.
Sure.
It could be, like, level design is huge, obviously, like course design for these games.
I did read something that I can't recall what this is, but they changed something quite significant about 4. There's something to do with the single player that they've made, something with the progression or something that's like put a lot of people off.
Right. Well, I'm not up to 4 yet because, I'm kind of battling through. I remember when the remake of 1 and 2 came out, I kind of just sat down and in a full day of like a full 8 hours of a work day, just got all the way through. Like,
I found them really hard. I found them really hard to get good at.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I dropped off pretty quickly because I was like playing it a bit and I just had not been able to get my head around the like stringing together combos and all that stuff.
Right.
Like, I felt like it felt to me pretty much straight out the gate with 1 and 2. You had to be like good at it like really quickly.
Yeah, right. And maybe like I still just have that muscle memory from the original ones, and I've definitely played them again. Like, you've been able to buy them on the PSN store and stuff like that.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know what it is, and it may well be that I just fucking played them so much as a kid that the course design and the layout and all of that stuff from the first 2 is just still in there, and it feels natural to me. Whereas these ones that I just played less of originally, it's just a bit more. Or it's a bit less familiar and a bit less stuck there in my memory.
These definitely do feel like a lot of times remakes and remasters, they're, you know, obviously people who were there for the originals get excited to be able to play them again or own them, you know, more easily because they're on the originals or on hardware that doesn't exist anymore or whatever.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it feels like they're banking on younger people who never experienced them the first time around, getting to get their hands on them. These really do feel very much like they're designed for you played them back in the day and you want to play them again.
Yeah.
Like, not to say that there's no one playing these that has never played them before, but it really does feel like these are geared directly to you want them to look and feel. You just want to feel like you're 15 again.
Yeah,
playing these games.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, I just don't have quite the same level of nostalgia for 3 and 4. But having said that, they're still the best skateboarding games.
Yeah.
Like, what obviously, like, in my opinion, 1 and 2 are better, but there's nothing else that really competes with 3 and 4 plus 1 and 2 together.
Yeah.
Like, Ollie Ollie World is great, but it's a side-scrolling.
It's a very different type of game.
A very different type of game, and like that company's been shut down by Microsoft. So,
yeah, that's right.
So there's no more of those. So yeah, like I said, like there's those skate games that are more of a simulation kind of game. There's just nothing else like this if you want to play a fun sort of arcade
challenge based.
Yeah,
very replayable.
Very, very replayable. It's good.
How's the soundtrack? Good. People are dirty about
It's great.
That. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it's great. It has like Run the Jewels and like waves and shit on it.
I do think this is where they've done themselves a bit of a disservice because it does feel like it's really designed for people wanting, and especially the precedent of the first batch of them. Which had almost all of the old songs in there. And for this to have like a fraction is like...
Yeah.
I don't know, when you it does feel like you're really positioning it towards like the people that were there back in the day.
Yeah, it's a better version of the same thing you already liked.
Yeah, you got to honor that. You got to get those. You got to get as many of those original ones in there as you can.
And like,
but that being said, it's not just like there's only 4 songs in there that repeat. Like they filled it out with other ones.
Absolutely, and like I love the soundtrack. I love the soundtrack of this new release of it. Like I said, it's got some of my favorite artists and bands on it, and it's got some of the old songs as well. Yeah, if you're a purist or if you're someone whose music taste is just the same as it was when they first came out.
Sure.
Yeah, that's disappointing, and that's fair enough.
Yep.
But you can just put Spotify on.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah, good shit.
So yeah, like a good game, pretty much what you expect when you go in. Yeah, I don't love it as much as those first 2, but I can't really put my finger on why.
Yeah.
It could just be nostalgia. But yeah.
Cool.
If anyone else knows why they feel different and why they sort of changed even from the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 in the first place, let me know. If you think that I'm crazy and you're like, no, they all play the same and they're all good. Also,
let me know.
Yeah. Forward that to Tommy, maybe in a private message, and he can bring it up tactfully with me the next time he sees me. But yeah, still a good game, and I'm still gonna try and make my way all the way through both of them.
Cool.
If I don't get sucked into fantasy life, the girl who stole time before that.
Well, that is going to do us for this week.
That's right.
We'll see you next week for a Donkey Kong Bonanza wrap up and anything else that's come out, any news that's come out during the week. Thank you for listening. Get on the Patreon, patreon.com/filthycasuals.
Yes, we'll have some fun, interesting /filthycasuals pod.
Yes, thank you. Always forget.
Some fun stuff coming up. We've got our mailbag episode coming up, which you can get on the $5 tier US for that. We've got an extra episode of this podcast every week that's about pop culture, movies, TV, and other shit. It's a good fucking deal.
Check that out. We'd love to see you over there. You support the show. You keep the lights on.
That's right.
You keep us fed and clothed.
Yeah, genuinely.
Which we really appreciate.
We do like to be able to live our lives, yes.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time. And as we say here at the end of every episode of Filthy Casuals, I've just reached level 5 of the podcaster class.
Oh, that's bad.